are joining with us for the 4th episode of Arunella. So, today we have something special for you. Today we are going to talk about the wonders of the world. So, Hiruni, shall we start?
Yeah, sure. Let's move on to the first world wonder, the Great Pyramid of Giza. It is the largest and the oldest pyramid out of the 3 pyramids in the Giza pyramid complex bordering at the present in Egypt. It is the oldest of the 7 wonders in ancient world and the only one to remain largely intact. Some Egyptologists believe that the pyramid was thus built as a tomb over to 10 to 20 years period concluding around 2560 BC. It is initially standing about 146.5 meters. The Great Pyramid was the tallest man-made structure in the world for more than 3,800 years until the Lincoln Cathedral. There have been various scientific and alternative theories about the construction of Great Pyramids techniques. Hypotheses are based on the idea that it was built by moving huge stones from a quarry and dragging them and lifting them into places.
Hi, I'm Sandali. Moving on to the second world wonder, Petra. It was the capital of the Nabatean Empire of the king Aretas IV and likely existed in its prime from 9 BC to 40 AD. The members of the civilization proved to be experts in manipulating water technologies, constructing tunnels and water chambers. A number of incredible structures carved into stone, a 4,000-seat amphitheatre and Eldia monastery have also helped the site earn its fame. Moving on to the third wonder of the world, the Great Wall of China. It is the collective name of the rampart system generally built across the northern borders of China to protect and consolidate territories of Chinese states and empires against various nomadic groups of steppe and their politics. It was the state of Shu who first built the wall. It was during the Qin dynasty that the kingdom of Qin united the different parts into one empire. To defend off the invasions from the northern invaders, the Emperor Qin Shi Huang joined up the walls and thus the Great Wall of China came being. If the Great Wall is 13,170 miles long, then if your average speed is 3.1 meters, then it would take about 4,248.38 hours or 177.016 days to travel non-stop walking over the Great Wall of China. The majestic Great Wall is built with dedication, wisdom, blood, sweat and tears. Many workers died and interred as part of the Great Wall itself. The Great Wall was not just a wall, it was an integrated military defensive system with watchtowers for civilians, fortresses for logistics and beacon towers for communication system. The first men to walk on the Great Wall of China building a new world in a greenhouse and Linda Lake was one among them. The Great Wall of China became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987. The wall is the longest man-made structure in the world with a total length of 13,170.7 miles or 21,196.18 kilometers made over the course of the years. The wall was built over by 6 different dynasties and is about 2,300 years old. To prevent the further loss of the Great Wall, the Chinese government has taken some measures to prevent it. First, laws to protect the Great Wall. Second, funds for protection, restoration and maintenance. The Great Wall of China is the multi-visit China attraction perhaps the most powerful advertising words came from the pen of the chairman Mao. It is, "Until you reach the Great Wall, you're no hero." So it turned out to you. Moving on to the fourth wonder, Christ the Redeemer. It is an art deco of Jesus Christ in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, created by French sculptor Paul Landowski and built by Brazilian engineer Hito da Silva Costa in collaboration with French engineer Albert Caco. Romanian sculptor George Leonida fashioned the face. Construction between 1922 and 1931. The statue is 30 meters high, excluding its 8 meters pedestal, the arm stretch 28 meters wide. It was built as symbol of Brazilian Christianity. In 1850, the idea of building a religious monument was first declared by a Catholic priest. In 1920, a group of people petitioned for the landmark statue and it became reality. The statue became a cultural icon in the world and is listed as one of the 7 wonders in the world. It is made of concrete and soapstone. It was completed and dedicated on October 12, 1931. As it is said, when God sprinkled stars in heaven, He opened our eyes to the wonders of the universe. Moving on to the 5th world wonder, Machu Picchu, which is located in the Cusco region, Urubamba province, Machu Picchu district, above the Sacred Valley, which is 80 kilometers northwest of Cusco, and through which the Urubamba River flows, cutting through the Cordillera and creating a canyon with a tropical mountain climate. Archaeologists believe that Machu Picchu was constructed as an estate for the Inca emperor. Often mistakenly, it is referred as the lost city of Incas. It is the most familiar icon of Inca civilization. The Incas built the estate around 1450 but abandoned it a century later at the time of the Spanish conquest. Although known locally, it was not known to the Spanish during the colonial period and remained unknown to the outside world until American historian Hiram Bingham brought it to international attention in 1911. This was built in the classic Inca style with polished dry stone walls. Most of the outlying buildings have been reconstructed in order to give tourists a better idea of how they have originally appeared. By 1976, 30% of Machu Picchu had been restored and restoration continues. Machu Picchu was declared a Peruvian Historic Sanctuary in 1981 and a UNESCO World Heritage in 1983. In 2007, Machu Picchu was voted one of the new 7 wonders of the world in a worldwide internet poll.
Today, I'm going to tell you about another world wonder, and that is Chichen Itza. Chichen Itza was a large pre-Columbian city that was built by the Maya people of the terminal classic period. This archaeological site is located in the Yucatan state, Mexico. This site exhibits a multitude of architectural styles. Chichen Itza was one of the largest Maya cities, and it was likely to have been one of the great mythical cities or towns referred as later in Mesoamerican literature. The city may have had the most diverse population, a factor that contributed to the variety of architectural styles. The ruins of Chichen Itza are federal property, and the site's stewardship is maintained by the National Institute of Anthropology and History. The land under the monuments had been privately owned until 29 March 2010, when it was purchased by the state of Yucatan. Chichen Itza is one of the most visited archaeological sites in Mexico with over 2.6 million visitors in 2017. The Maya name Chichen Itza means at the mouth of the well of Itza. This derives from chi, meaning mouth or edge, and chen or chin means well, and Itza is the name given for an ethnic lineage group. Several archaeologists in the late 1980s suggested that unlike previous Maya polities of the early classic, Chichen Itza have not been governed by an individual ruler or a single dynastic lineage. When talking about the economy, this city was a major economic power in the northern Maya lowlands during its apogee. Chichen Itza was able to obtain locally unavailable resources from the distant areas such as obsidian from central Mexico and gold from southern Central America. The layout of Chichen Itza site got developed during its earlier phase of occupation between 750 AD and 900 AD. Its final layout was developed after 900 AD. Chichen Itza was one of the largest Maya cities with a relatively densely clustered architecture of the site covering an area of at least 5 square kilometers. This city was built upon broken terrain which was artificially leveled in order to build the major architectural groups including the Castillo Pyramid, Las Monjas, Osario and the main southwest groups. This site contains many fine stone buildings in various states of preservation and many have been restored. Many of these stone buildings were originally painted in red, green, blue and purple color. This site is imagined to be a colorful one. This site is imagined to be a colorful one, not like today. The architecture encompasses various styles such as Puke and Chinook styles in the northern Yucatan Peninsula. The buildings of the city are grouped in a series architectonic sets. The three best known of these complexes are the Great North Platform, which includes the monuments of Temple of Warriors, El Castillo, and the Great Wall Court. Chichen Itza was named as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's the second most visited of Mexico's archaeological site. In 2007, Chichen Itza's El Castillo was named as one of the new 7 wonders of the world after a worldwide vote. Tourism has been a factor at Chichen Itza for more than a century. In 2007, it was estimated and had received 2.1 million visitors. Coming towards the 7th wonder, Colosseum. It is also known as the Flavian Amphitheatre or an oval amphitheatre in the center of city Rome in Italy. Built of travertine, limestone tuff and brick faced concrete, Colosseum was the largest amphitheatre ever built. At the time was held 50,000 spectators.
The last world wonder is Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is a white marble on the south bank of Yamuna River in the Indian city of Agra. It was commissioned in 1632 by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan to the house of tomb of his favorite wife Mumtaz Mahal. It also houses the tomb of Shah Jahan, the builder. Construction of mausoleum was essentially completed in 1643, but work continued on other phases of the project for another 10 years. The Taj Mahal was designed as UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983 for being the jewel of Muslim art in India and one of the universally admired masterpieces of the world's heritage. It is regarded by many as the best example of Mughal emperor's architecture. The Taj Mahal attracts 7 to 8 million visitors a year, and in 2007 it was declared winner of New 7 Wonders of the World.